fumbles that occurred by the Bears, beginning with a press conference with the mayor of Chicago talking about a multi-billion-dollar stadium that they wanted to have built with taxpayer dollars. That's not something I was ever willing to do. They never asked. They just held a press conference. That was the start of some of the fumbles. Then, as you saw, they came into the session without a complete plan. And then there was a lot of talk. What location do they want to be in? Do they want to be in Chicago? Do they want to be in Arlington Heights? Do they want to be in Hammond? And then, of course, they didn't show up for the end of session.
J.B. Pritzker there explaining what happened. And as you can see, the Bears really blew it. I wonder if that's how Chicagoans feel. Let's talk to former governor of Illinois. Rod Blagojevich joins us right now. He's got a podcast, Lightning Rod Today, and his book is coming out this November, Framed, Effed, and Freed, A Governor's Odyssey. Governor, thank you for being with us here today. It's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Annie. Appreciate it.
You bet. Now, if you're not aware, we're here in St. Louis, but myself, my producer, my co-host, we're all Illinois residents. So we've got about 30-40% of our audience here who are Illinois voters and taxpayers. We are watching the Chicago Bears saga play out a little bit separate from the issue, of course, it not being right here in our hometown. Can you explain when Governor Pritzker is talking about all the things that the Bears did wrong, is there more context to that story as you see it?
Well, yes, the truth is just the opposite of what he's saying. This was gubernatorial malpractice. And one of our great presidents, a Democrat like JB and me, used to say, the buck stops here. That was Harry Truman. And clearly JB doesn't believe in that. He'll blame anybody but himself. The fact of the matter is, our Governor Pritzker, has set priorities. $2.5 billion for illegal immigrants to stay in Illinois against the law, but he won't put up a single tax dollar, he claims, to keep the Bears in Illinois. And the Bears provide jobs, tax revenue, and just the improvement of a good quality of life for people who work hard every day. And the people in the Metro East area, Edwardsville and Collinsville and Bellwood and all those great places, these are hardworking people like up in Chicago. And it's nice to be able to look forward to your home team playing football on Sunday. You know what it's like in the St. Louis area to lose a franchise. Yeah. Evidently, we're about to lose one now.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering of your thoughts, just as somebody who has been in the office of the governorship. How should Governor Pritzker have approached this to try to bring parties together to keep the Illinois taxpayer in mind, which would be great to see him do that for once? Right. How should he have navigated this complicated situation?
He should have taken the lead in it. That's his job as the governor. This is about an issue that deals with the quality of life for people who live in the state that hired him to represent them. He should have taken the lead, and he should have been the one to broker a deal with the Bears, maybe with the city of Chicago, maybe with Arlington Heights, the suburb in the Chicagoland area, to keep the Bears in Illinois. Ideally, the Chicago Bears, in my mind, as a Chicagoan, belong in Chicago itself. But what we have here in Illinois and what we have in Chicago are two leaders, Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson, who aren't interested in getting things done for the people and citizens of our state. Instead, they're positioning themselves so they can point fingers and scapegoat, because neither one of them was willing to take the risk to take a leadership role to do what it takes to keep the Bears in Illinois. And that's the sad reality. Had the two of them worked together, the Bears would have stayed in Illinois.
Man, Rod Blagojevich speaking with us right now, former governor of Illinois' podcast you should subscribe to, Lightning Rod Today. My understanding is that you still reside in Chicago?
No, I still live in the house I was arrested in, Annie, and I'm happy to be there. That's home sweet home.
Fantastic.
But can I say this to your listeners, and God bless everybody down there, because I was the beneficiary of the goodwill of people in the Metro East area, Southern Illinois, Southwestern Illinois, and they voted for me 2 times for governor. I fought hard for them. I didn't break a law across the line. It was all politics. It's lawless lawfare. Weaponized prosecutors did to me what they did to Trump years later. And the truth is coming out, and I'd never give in. And so I went to prison for 8 years because I was never going to give in. They hijacked the governor elected by the people in the Metro East area and in Southwest Illinois. And you know what? It's in the scripture, chapter 50, Genesis. What they meant for evil, God meant for good.
Rod Blagojevich speaking with us right now. His book coming out this November, Framed, Effed, and Freed, A Governor's Odyssey. Talk to me about, you were a Democrat governor of the state of Illinois. J.B. Pritzker is a Democrat governor of the state of Illinois. You're there among Chicagoans who are probably pretty ticked that it's possible, if not maybe even likely, that the Chicago Bears are going to move into Indiana. Are the Democrat politics of the governor today different than the Democrat politics of the governor when you were in office?
Night and day. The Democratic Party today is a party that's been taken over by socialists and Bolsheviks and communists who don't like our country and don't like American citizens. They literally, this isn't an exaggeration, they provide sanctuary in places like Chicago, and J.B. Pritzker defends this and supports this and fights for it. Sanctuary for illegal immigrants, but no sanctuary for Bear fans and the Chicago Bears to stay in Chicago and in Illinois. Their priorities are upside down. They don't believe in borders. They don't believe in our country. And they're all about taxing people to bring people down rather than lift people up by creating economic opportunity. The Democratic Party I was in, the Democratic Party that really was reflected by your representatives down the Metro East area, people like Jay Hoffman, people like that. The Democrat Party was a common sense party. We put working people first, but we understood that America is the land of opportunity. And the way to be able to do better in life is to work hard so your kids can have a chance to get ahead. These Democrats aren't for that. These Democrats are all about pulling people down, taxing people, and creating priorities that don't reflect the interests of everyday, ordinary American citizens.
I'm looking right now at a tweet from Nightingale Associates, and it's a list of different properties there in Chicago, office buildings in Chicago. Here's one on South State Street. In 2016, $68.1 million sold in recently here. It's down, the value is down to $4.2 million. In 2012, an office building valued at $51 million. It's down 92% to $4 million. And the list goes on and on and on. Just depreciation of 90%, 87%. Just goes, it's outrageous to think about the declining values of these Chicago office buildings. Now I'm thinking about the Bears Stadium. What value is going to be lost long term if the Bears leave, in conjunction with the evidence that we already have that property values are in a rapid descent in Chicago?
Well, tens of millions of tax revenue will leave, as it's been leaving. And this isn't the first big business to leave Illinois under Pritzker. Citadel left, Caterpillar left, Boeing left. Now the Chicago Bears appear to be leaving. And there's a reason why. Governor Pritzker has raised taxes and fees on people 51 times. That's today's modern Democratic Party. 51 times he raised taxes and fees on people. And not only are people fleeing the state because taxes are high, but up in my area here in Chicago, people are fleeing because it's not safe.
Yep.
And the Democrats are protecting people. I hate to say it, it's laughable, but they're protecting people who violate the law over and above people who stand up and follow the law. Everyday, ordinary working people, the Democratic Party used to be for, not anymore. And it's really unfortunate. And what's unfortunate, too, is that good people are leaving Illinois because it's so bad, which means these socialist Democrats have more and more power and will continue to stay in power and continue to chase businesses out of our state and chase jobs out of our state.
I'm thinking about that statement. We're speaking with Rod Blagojevich here on the Annie Frey Show right now about those who are left, those who aren't portable. And you know very well that down here, the dirt and soil that a lot of people have built generational farms on, their business on, their livelihood on, that doesn't pick up and move to Indiana like the Bears can, or Kentucky, or Tennessee, or Missouri even. That you gotta leave everything you've ever known and identified with behind, in a lot of cases down here in Southern Illinois. Who is voting? We got a opportunity for Mr. No King's J.B. Pritzker to have a third term this November. Who is saying this guy is doing a good job? How are they communicating to voters to accumulate enough votes to win yet again?
Well, Governor Pritzker, who used to work for me, that's among my regrets. You want to put me in prison for that? That might be justified. But this guy's a billionaire born with a silver ladle in his mouth. He inherited $3 billion, and he spent, something like $300 million to get himself elected governor. He gave Mike Madigan, the ward boss Democrat machine guy responsible for a lot of these high taxes, something like $7.2 million for his campaigns. And the reality is, when you have that kind of money, and it's politics, it requires that there's money to be able to fund campaigns. When a guy has that kind of personal wealth that he didn't earn himself, it does two things. Number one, he's disconnected from the struggles of everyday people. He doesn't understand them. He doesn't care about them. And what he basically does is able to buy elections through the money that he uses. And then, working class Democratic representatives like Hoffman, Jay, who I know a lot, are afraid to buck the system. And so they go along and get along. And I would urge my friend Jay, Jay Hoffman, and other Democrats down in Southern Illinois
Katie
to
Stewart.
vote the Democrat Party. Form a third party, a new party that reflects the values of the people in Southern Illinois. You don't have to become Republicans, but become something that reflects the values of the people who elect you. Don't go along with these socialists and Bolsheviks. And our governor is a Nepo baby billionaire Bolshevik. And the reason he is that is because he wants to run for president, and he thinks he needs to pander to the left wing of the Democrat Party because he is what they excoriate. He is the epitome of white privilege.
Rod Blagojevich, you are my favorite former Illinois governor right now. You're speaking straight to my heart in ways that I didn't know was possible. We're speaking with Rod Blagojevich, former governor of Illinois. His podcast is Lightning Rod Today, and his book is coming out later this year, Framed, Effed, and Freed, A Governor's Odyssey. I think that, I don't know if you resonate, if it resonates with you, the hopelessness of a lot of Southern Illinois voters, but I kind of feel like maybe it's not just a Southern Illinois thing, but it is very much a Southern Illinois thing. That there's so much that we've resigned to understanding about living in Illinois. There's just a pain and a punishment that exists if you decide to keep living here, growing a family here, and hoping to have generational family in Illinois. What do you say to those people who feel that it's hopeless?
Well, I know something about hopelessness, right? When they sent me to prison for 14 years, I never took a penny. So I have my own experience. I talk about this in the book, Framed, Effed, and Freed. I talk about that and how it's so critical that when you're facing crushing adversity and hard times come, or you're an everyday citizen and all you want is for your elected officials to do the best they can to promote the common good and the general welfare and to be sensitive to the needs of you because we hired them to work for us. It's maddening when they see that they don't. And what you're talking about with the people in Southern Illinois, I understand it because we really enjoyed, my family and I, the time when I was governor and before I was governor, coming down to Southern Illinois. The people are so good. And they're like my mother and father, working people. And all they want of their leaders is do your best, but don't forget us. Be for the people. But that's not what's happened to today's Democratic Party. They become cultural communists. They become socialists on economics. They don't care that people are building farms or businesses, and they want to pass it on to their kids. In fact, they want to tax that. They're not for working people anymore. They're for illegal immigrants. They'll cancel you if you don't think that a transgender man should play women's sports. These are the priorities of the Democratic Party today.
Yeah.
And they've lost all sense of common sense. And so I would say to the voters, forget the voters, the residents of Southern Illinois, I'd say, yes, you're right to feel bad, but don't despair. Keep hope alive. It is pleasing to the Lord to live in faith, hope, and love. That's what he wants us to do. Don't give up, but don't get out of the system. You got to be part of that system and demand of your elected representatives that they represent you. And if it's a Democrat that you vote for and they're not following what you want, don't vote for them.
Rod Blagojevich, is Illinois reparable? Is it savable?
Yes, of course it is. It's absolutely savable. I believe in new beginnings. I'm living one myself. I believe sometimes things have to you almost have to hit rock bottom before it gets good. And I would say we're approaching that in Illinois. But I think the worse it gets, frankly, it promises to be better because people eventually catch on. To quote Bill Clinton, the people almost always get it right.
Well, we thank you for your time today. Please come back again and talk more with us. We've got a lot to cover on this march towards our statewide elections in Illinois this November. We're really grateful for your time. We hope you'll come back.
Thank you, Andy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Bye-bye.